Hurricane Ida made landfall in Louisiana today, battering the southeastern Gulf Coast with an onslaught of water and dangerous winds. It hit exactly the same day as Hurricane Katrina 16 years ago.
This is the time to stay inside. Do not venture out. No sightseeing. This is very serious.
David, the fifth strongest hurricane to hit the U.S. mainland in recorded history.
No power at all for the entire New Orleans metro.
No power, no water, no sewer, no cell phone coverage. Essentially completely cut off from the outside world.
As a community, we always prepare whether we're going to get the actual hit or we're not. So, you watch it a week or so prior to it making landfall, and we were nervous that we would get the east side, which is the worst side of a hurricane. The last couple days prior to it making landfall, we realized that it actually was going to miss us here in Gulfport, Biloxi area. Unfortunately, it was still coming to our neighbors in Louisiana.
We know where they're sitting. We sat there 16 years ago with Hurricane Katrina. We were devastated here locally in Biloxi with that storm, so we wanted to do what we could to help out and help them in their time of need.
I'm born and raised in Biloxi, Mississippi. I actually did ride through Hurricane Katrina here in Biloxi. It's funny because that was 16 years ago, and I rode it out with my father, my grandfather, and my little brother. And I just remember night transportation almost immediately jumping in then. And it's funny how it comes full circle, and 16 years later, now here I am working for night transportation, helping out with donations.
I was contacted by Wayne Byers and Kimberly Moody with night transportation. We were going to do something here locally, but they contacted me before we could even get the ball rolling, so they gave us a ready-made ability to be able to transport all of these items directly to Louisiana. So we started this drive at Biloxi High School, but it involves our entire school system, not just Biloxi High School. That was just a great central location to park a truck and have people donate items.
To say that both Wayne and myself, night transportation as a whole, were just completely blown away by, we had people donating chainsaws, pallets of water, toilet paper. It was just insane.
There were no roadblocks or speed bumps or anything like that as far as getting this organized because of the sense that we all knew, and we'd been there, and we know what those people are going through in South Louisiana.
We've already filled up one tractor trailer full of items, and now we're working on our second tractor trailer at this time.
So how'd I do my pre-trip?
Great.
Say, one thing I noticed is that the air gauge is kind of hard to get that thing to work sometimes.
Sometimes it'd be a little cap on it. Just twist it off, check it, twist it back on.
So how did you get into truck driving, Sheldon?
Yeah, I started in Memphis with Schneider. And I was on a dedicated account from Memphis to Atlanta. And that ran out, and I went to work for Covenant. And Covenant is a team-based company. I couldn't do it. They teamed me with this guy from North Mississippi, and all he did was eat. All night, all long. I'm trying to sleep, I heard.
So now, when you were over the road, were you married?
Yeah, I was married.
How'd your wife like that?
She did.
Tough?
She did.
That's before you had your daughter, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
How old was your daughter?
She is 12 now.
Golly. Is she really?
12.
Man. She's still doing gymnastics?
Gymnastics. Now she's into volleyball. So now she's doing volleyball.
She's still like traveling around all over the country doing gymnastics? But how long you been with this now? It's been a while.
Should be going on since 2014. Yep.
7 years, 8 years?
Yep, 2014.
And so you drove at DuPont for a while, right?
I drove DuPont.
You drive over
2.5 years. I went over the road for about 8 months.
Did you ever train for us?
Still train.
How was that experience?
Oh, I loved it. Being able to help people. It's a lot you have to know when on this road. There wasn't a lot of damage in New Orleans, huh?
Power lines, man. A lot of power lines down. You know, they said this storm took out more power lines than like the last 3 major hurricanes we've had down here. You know, there's been several linemen who've died already this time. Yeah, you're starting to see a lot more damage over here.
The further we come back.
It's just gonna get worse the further we get south.
On Thursday, we decided to make our first trip over to Houma, Louisiana. There's a gentleman there whose nephew is very involved in the Catholic diocese, who has so graciously let us use his warehouse. We were the first delivery to the warehouse because they had just acquired it. The other one was partially damaged, so this one was in much better condition. We had just a few people hands on deck. We thought we would have some more volunteers there, but we didn't. So we actually had to hand unload most of the product and donations off of the trailer in hot, humid Louisiana weather.
We have a wonderful community here in Biloxi. Everybody really pulls together, especially in times of need. You know, growing up on the Gulf Coast, we're used to tragedy just rolling in every hurricane season. You know, you're always wondering what's going to happen next, and you know that while we're spared from some storms, we know that there's another one coming down the road, and we know that we're going to be the ones sitting in a time of need in the near future. So, you know, we like to help where we can, when we can, because we know we're going to need that same help in the future.
The bulk of Gulfport's employees and driving associates actually probably either have family or have friends or live in Louisiana, South Louisiana themselves. So we knew exactly what was going on there. We knew exactly what kind of damage to expect to see and what they would need. And it's, you know, it's pretty easy to get a trailer like this filled up whenever you go through those experiences yourself.
We really appreciate the partnership that Night Transportation has been able to extend to us. We've got multiple families that their parents work for Night Transportation, and they've just been a great partner for us here in the Biloxi Public Schools, and we're looking forward to working with them in the future to do whatever we can to make our communities better.
I can speak for myself and everyone at Night Transportation that just the community really showed up, and we are so thankful for that. We're still to this day getting donations, and we'll still continue to take that over as relief efforts.